On today's Hot Sheet, I'm discussing housing affordability and the employment situation report released this morning. Today is Friday, January 5th, 2024. I am Byron Lazine, and the Hot Sheet starts now. Welcome to the first Friday here in 24 on the Hot Sheet, and we have a big economy day as it relates to inflation with today's jobs report. Of course, we had three reports centered around jobs yesterday, but the big one was expected this morning, and it was released. We will get into that in just a minute. Before we do, we're going to talk housing affordability and the recent Redfin report as covered by BAM on nowbam.com. In 2023, 16% of homes for sale were considered affordable per Redfin's metrics. Okay. Obviously, that's not a shock to anybody. What might be shocking is that that's the lowest ever recorded. You can go back to the run up in 06 and it beats all of those years. So in any variable, any way we measure it, 2023, 16%, 15.5 to be exact, was the lowest share on record for affordable homes. Okay. This is down from 20.7% in 2022 and just under 40% in 2021. You see the chart here. Obviously, all of our downloads will be available for BAMX members. But you see the chart here from 2013 all the way until even 2021, really at about 40% or higher outside of 2018. If you remember 2018, we had that little pop in interest rates up into the fives, which we would welcome today. But it was off of the average of what we had been experiencing for years before that, around 4%, which was considerably lower than where we were at during the Great Financial Crisis. So just 16% of the homes in 2023 were affordable. Seems like the bottom, though, is now behind us, that's probably as low as it can get. Redfin does expect in this report that affordability will improve here in 2024 through a lowering of the mortgage rate, as well as more homes coming onto the market, more inventory finally hitting the feed here. So what Redfin also did a study on racial disparity on affordable homes. 7% of listings are affordable for the typical Black household. You see in the dark blue, you've got Asian households. 27% of homes are affordable, 22% for white, non-Hispanic. Overall, again, at 16% Hispanic, at 10% Black, at 7%. So there's a racial disparity there as well as it relates to affordable housing. Relatively affordable homes becoming much less affordable in 2023. Here are some targeted locations in the Now BAM article. 5 metros with the largest year-over-year declines in affordability in 23 would be Kansas City, minus 14.8 percentage points from 42.8 to 27.9, still above the national. Greenville, South Carolina, from 33.4% down to 21.5% in 23. Greenville, South Carolina is a growing, booming area. Worcester, Mass, down 13.7 points from 21.2 to 7.6 in 2023. So Worcester, Mass, way below the national average. Cincinnati down from 48% to 34%. Little Rock, Arkansas, down from 44.6% to 31.2. Both Cincinnati and Little Rock beating the national numbers as it sits right now. In San Francisco, though, 0.3% of homes listed in 2023 were affordable for the typical home shopper, down from 0.4%, just a completely unaffordable market. Some other markets of note here with small moves, small year-over-year declines would be Detroit, 51.6% to 51.4%. So Detroit, super affordable. Los Angeles on the opposite side, not affordable. It went from 0.5% to 0.3%. Boise from 1.3 to 1%, and Oakland from 2.5% to 2% on the affordability. Oakland, obviously, the Bay Area with San Francisco probably getting a lot of buyers that might be priced out of San Francisco, now making Oakland obviously unaffordable. Affordable home listings dropped from 41% from 2022 to where we sit today. 352,000 being the number there that they would consider in the affordable range. 352,005. Oh, I'm sorry, this is total listings. That is not the price. 352,500 listings, where in 2021 we had up over 1.3, just about 1.3 million listings on the market. So a lot less options for buyers shopping today. Here's a Zillow senior economist. Many of the factors that made 2023 the least affordable year for home buying record are easing. So another indication that 2023 could be the bottom. Mortgage rates are under 7% for the first time in months. Home price growth is slowing as lower rates prompt more people to list their homes, and overall inflation continues to cool. We'll likely see a jump in home purchases in the new year as buyers take advantage of lower mortgage rates and more listings after the holidays. Let me know in the comments if you're experiencing more listings right now. If you've got, obviously, this is free format Friday, so we can go a number of different ways here. If you've got a question or something about any of the data that's been shared this week, be happy to go over that with you. Let me know also in the comments if you're enjoying the show notes from the hot sheet. We put these together for every single show, and we upload them for our BAMX members. You can use code 2024 to get 25% off of BAMX so that you can use this data in an easy, formatable, copy and paste way into all of your content, email newsletters, or whatever it may be for you. So there's the update on affordable homes. Another impact on affordability is going to be the fight against inflation, and how quickly will the Fed actually start to lower these rates that they indicated that they would do in December. Well, they're watching closely to the labor data because that impacts inflation directly. And let's just take a look at the raw data really quick. Non-farm payrolls. This is a direct release today from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Non-farm payroll employment increased 216,000 in December. The unemployment rate was unchanged at 3.7%. Okay, so expectation-wise, because a lot of this goes off, okay, what are we expecting? And then what do the numbers come in at? Okay, expectation-wise was that non-farm payroll employment increase was going to be around 170,000. We came in at 216,000. So much stronger on hiring in December than what Wall Street, what investors were expecting, were anticipating, were pricing into the market. The unemployment rate was expected to nudge up to 3.8. It didn't. It stayed flat at 3.7, showing more strength in the housing market. Now, what the markets wanted to support what the FOMC and Jerome Powell said in December, like, hey, if we keep getting good data, we're going to have these three cuts, next year. Obviously, we looked at the minutes yesterday, and they don't know when or how they're going to make these three cuts. So that created confusion yesterday for the market. The market was awaiting this report. What's the 10-year going to do? Well, the 10-years reacted to this. Because what was expected was, okay, we want more of that soft landing. We want unemployment to nudge up a little bit, not too much where it's like we have a recession fear, but we want it to nudge up off the 3.7 to 3.8, because that's what Jerome Powell wants. That's what the Fed wants. They want the employment to be strong, but not too strong, but not too weak. They want it right in the middle. And they wanted just to hit the numbers of hiring. They didn't want hiring to get hot, to get hotter than it's been. And if you just look at monthly job creation across the U.S. here in this chart, you see that December was higher than the last 2 months on that job creation. And so we're kind of having a little bit of a bumpy road here the last 6 or 7 months. But these higher numbers are concerning to the Fed. Again, they wanted somewhere right in the middle. Hiring boost came from a gain of 52,000 in government jobs, another 38,000 in healthcare related. You had leisure and hospitality at 40,000, social assistance 21,000, construction 17,000, retail trade grew by 17,000. Industry's mostly been flat since early 22, since the labor market said so. Retail flat, now getting a bump. Transportation and warehousing were in the loss category there. So again, economists looking for 170,000 on the jobs, not 216,000. They were looking for unemployment to go up to 3.8, not stay flat at 3.7. It brought the 2023 total gains at 2.7 million, monthly average of 225, down from the 4.8 million or 399 a month in 2022. So an improvement there, because the more jobs, the more money getting pumped into the system, the harder it is to fight inflation. Everything is through the inflation lens right now. That's how we're looking at everything. That's what's going to impact the 10-year the most, which is ultimately going to impact the 30-year and improve what we just talked about, housing affordability for home buyers across America. You can see that the 10-year had a negative reaction to this news this morning, crossing over 4%. And this is where, I took a little bit of, not heat, but people were commenting on my prediction that I've got the over of 6.375 as the average 30-year fixed for 2024. I'm not rooting for that. I just happen to, if I'm placing a bet, that's where my money would be. I think it's going to be just over. I mean, I'm in the 6.4 to 6.5 camp. So when you set an over under at 6.375, as we did on Knowledge Brokers podcast, I took the over. A lot of people, it's definitely going to be under. We're going to be in the fives. We're going to be in the fives. Well, if we have moments like this in the year that pop us up for periods of time, it's going to be hard to get there. And this is one of those bumps in the road where we're sitting up over 4%. We looked at the projection yesterday from an analyst who's got the 10-year hitting 5.5%, which would be, a multi-decade record high on the 10-year if it were to do that. Not saying that that's going to be the case. I'm just saying that that's one analyst prediction. So not everybody is in the camp of a 10-year declining, and the 30-year didn't decline yesterday. In fact, it was the highest since mid-December on the 30-year fixed rate mortgage at 6.76, based off of the confusion around the minutes yesterday and then the anticipation of the jobs report with the 10-year increasing today. You could see that number get into the 6.8s on today's reading, the final reading of the week. The Freddie Mac 30-year fixed weekly comes in at 6.62. So there's your update on housing and how it relates to or how the economy is relating to the market. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Hit the notification bell. We are the only show that goes live with a 24-hour look back on what's most important for the housing market each and every single day that the stock markets are open. Speaking of the stock market, let me just take a quick look on how that's reacting. You've got the Dow down a little bit, not a big deal. S&P, NASDAQ, so they're both up a tick. So nothing to be concerned with there. We'll see how the market absorbs it throughout the day. And later today at 2:00, I will be interviewing, along with Lisa Chinani and Tom Toole on Knowledge Brokers podcast, we will be interviewing Lance Lambert of Resi Club, formerly of Fortune. And Lance he's one of the best follows on Twitter at News Lambert. When it comes to housing data, he's got a ton of data on institutional buyers and follows this stuff real closely. So if you're unfamiliar with that podcast, go over on YouTube to @Knowledge Brokers. It's a separate channel podcast, or Apple or Spotify. Make sure you hit the notification and subscribe there, and look for the 2:00 interview with Lance today. You will not want to miss that one. Bookmark it, listen to it over the weekend. That'll be launching today at 2:00. Looking forward to seeing you guys in the comments over there, as well as seeing you back here on the hot sheet on Monday. Until then, toodaloo.